The third wave by Groove Synthesis. You probably know it for sounds like this. But did you know that it does this too? Along with a bunch of other things. It's way deeper than you probably thought. And in this video, I'm going to go through everything. But first, we got to cover some basics. Wavetable synthesis. What's the hype? What's the point? All right, listen. I'm going to give it to you straight. Come here and try to keep this between us. Look, do you want to spend the rest of your life with just one waveform? I mean, sine waves are great, but you're not going to be in the mood for sine waves every single night. Nor can a sine wave, or any one waveform, possibly meet all of your needs. It's natural to want variety. And if we're being honest, what's the big deal? I mean, if I were to experiment with other waveforms here and there, it's not going to affect my relationship with sine waves. As long as there's clear communication and everybody's chill about it. Well, that's where wavetables come in. Wavetable synthesis is the basic concept that rather than an oscillator producing just one fixed waveform, like a sine wave or a square wave, that it cycles through a series of waveforms spliced together. This is called a wavetable, and it gives us this evolving texture. This approach to synthesis burst onto the scene with the PPG wave back in the 80s, and nowadays, wavetables are everywhere. The third wave is a nod to the PPG, but it builds on it and does a bunch of other stuff too. Analog subtractive synthesis, FM, sampling, and most importantly, more options for routing and layering than even the deepest VSTs. Let's dig into the third wave. Okay, first up, I'll show you the classic stuff. These patches are exact remakes of original PPG patches. So that evolving texture that you heard was the big breakthrough of the PPG. Kind of sounds like a filter sweep, but it's not. Kind of sounds like a phaser, but it's not. What you're hearing is the sound of an oscillator modulating between single cycle digital waveforms. A sine becoming a triangle, becoming a square, becoming a saw, and back again. And the harmonic morphing that this creates was fundamentally different than what was being achieved with conventional analog subtractive synthesis. So the third wave replicates those original PPG sounds really, really well. But, like I said before, it shines in the ways that it's an evolution of the PPG, not a replica. So in addition to the 25 original PPG wavetables, the third wave also has over 50 new wavetables. I'll show you. So this is just the pure wavetable, not even an actual patch. I'd totally use that for like a sitar-based sound or something like that. Once again, this is just one of the wavetables, not an actual patch. Great buzzy metallic quality, great foundation for like a bell sound or something like that. So as you can hear, there's a lot more going on than the original PPG wavetables, and that allows for patches that can take that PPG sound and bring it into the modern era, like these. These are the wavetable sounds of the future, still grounded in that original approach, but in a modern context and with modern wavetables. Okay, it's time to depart a little bit from wavetables, because you don't want that buzzy metallic quality all the time. Or at least sometimes you want it to be more subtle. Or at least you need your keyboard to do other stuff too. Luckily, the third wave does a bunch of stuff really, really well, starting with classic analog subtractive synthesis. I love the basic waveforms here. This is, of course, a square wave. Just beautiful. Triangle waves too. And my personal favorite, sine waves. Here's a few of my favorite patches that are based on that analog subtractive approach. And of course, the subtractive part of subtractive synthesis is the filter. And on the third wave, we've got two. There's the state variable filter, that's very much like what you'd have on an Oberheim, an SEM type filter, into an analog 2140 filter, same as on a Prophet 5, and that features saturation. And because of the crazy layering capabilities, which I'll get into in a bit, you can even get into some additive synthesis. Check this out, I made this patch where I used like 12 sine waves. So there's a fundamental tone, which is of course a sine wave, and then swimming up there in the ether, you can hear a bunch of other sine waves, kind of mimicking an overtone series. So there's the third and the fifth and other overtones, and when you engage the aftertouch, it pitches them all somewhere different. But when you've got sine waves, it's not long before you start wanting FM too. Luckily, the third wave does FM beautifully. Check this out. Okay, quick FM demo. So oscillator 1, sine wave. Oscillator 2, another sine wave. Go into our mod matrix, and we're going to set oscillator 2 to control the FM amount of oscillator 1. And there it is. Obviously not the most useful FM patch, but I'm not going to pretend to be one of those rocket scientists who can really program FM, but you get the idea. And here's my favorite actual patches that use FM. Okay, let's depart even further into sampling. The third wave can support up to 30 seconds of 16-bit, 48 kHz mono samples. You can import them via USB or record them via the 1/4-inch audio in on the back. And this is yet another synthesis approach that can be mixed into patches. Okay, those are the basic engines of the keyboard, the kinds of synthesis that it can do. And now it's all about combining them. And this is where this keyboard really shines. The third wave has, in some ways, the deepest capacity I've seen on any hardware synth, and in some cases, software synths too. That's because of the layering. The layering is very special. You can have 4 layers. Now, what does that mean? Because obviously it's not the first synth to have layers. Well, usually you can have some layers for the basic sound sources on the synth, but not necessarily for other stuff. So you can layer oscillators or samples or whatever at the beginning of your chain, but then you only have one effect section, one mod matrix, a couple LFOs, etc. On this synth, you have 4 layers of everything. Like, actually everything. On the face of the board, we've got 3 oscillators, 1 mod matrix, 4 LFOs, 2 filters, 2 normal envelopes, VCA and VCF, 1 arpeggiator, 2 aux envelopes, and 2 effects. But it's actually all that times 4. You just use these buttons to jump between the different layers, and suddenly you have 12 oscillators, 4 mod matrices, 16 LFOs, 4 sequencers, 4 arpeggiators, 8 aux envelopes, etc. And that is an astounding amount of power. And it's an astounding amount of power to have on a knob per function interface with minimal menu diving. Like, it's really like a Prophet or a Moog where everything is accessible, but then it pulls this 4 layers trick and it goes so much deeper. Like in this patch, which is one of the factory presets that I made. So on layer 1, we've got a simple sine wave, and I'm using the aux envelopes to bend the pitch up an octave upon release. On layer 2, if you hold out a chord, you can hear this ghostly higher layer come in. On layer 3, we've got an arpeggiator that only comes in when you engage the aftertouch. And layer 1 bends down an octave to make room for it. I call that patch pitch slap. Here's a patch where I literally have 4 arpeggiators happening at the same time. I'll bring them in one by one. So here's the first one. I'll bring in the second one with the mod wheel. Here's layer 3. Layer 4. Now, is that practical? Debatable, but you can do it. And each one of those layers had individual things happening with the filters and the aux envelopes and the effects. The kind of thing you can only do with 4 layers. So there's a ton going on with this board, and hopefully now you have a pretty comprehensive picture of everything. Like I said earlier, I had the pleasure of making a couple of the factory patches for this board. But if you want the full pack of 20 patches that I've made, you can download them for free from my website. There's a ton of sounds that I didn't cover because it's not that kind of video. But if you're looking for that kind of video, and you just want to hear me shut up and play, click here next. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this useful, and go make some music.